Guys, welcome back again. Today is Sunday and this is the day I typically tend to make the content I call yapping content. See, Monday to Saturday, I actually have time to make, the kind of content the YouTube algorithm wants to see, which is content of me flipping PCs, buying and selling on eBay, doing everything in between, handling customers' queries and every kind of content that relates to, the niche in which I make videos, which is flipping PCs, flipping monitors, flipping laptops, every IT hardware, all with the intention of making profit. So I do this kind of content Monday to Saturdays most times. But then on Sunday, I'm so happy because I can finally just ignore the algorithm. And this is the reason why I call it the yapping session, because now I can actually just let myself talk whatever comes to my mind. I'm going to be yapping about YouTube. I'm going to be yapping about eBay. I'm going to be yapping about, making money online, the stress that entrepreneurs have to pass through, all in an attempt to make this, internet money. Guys, I'm so happy because whenever I have to make this kind of content, it's also, a time for me to just, brain dump. Truly said, if you are a content creator, you cannot always be making, value-packed content. There's also a time for you to just be yourself, talk whatever you want to talk, ignore the algorithm, do not care the number of views that the videos get, because you are human. You also pass through similar challenges like your audience are also passing through. Sometimes you don't feel like making content. Sometimes you feel angry about how a customer has treated you during the week, and you just want that time to actually come out here and just talk about it, all right? But then if you are saying, I want the kind of, concise content, value-packed, then feel free to go to my channel, take a look. There are so many videos there, videos that borders on packing items for shipping, strategies for eBay, buying and selling used computers and all that stuff. But please, and please, when you go there, please consider subscribing to the channel, click on the like button and turn on your notification bell, because I see a lot of people going to my channel to watch, the beautiful content I've got out there. But you guys do not remember to leave a like, you do not subscribe. And this doesn't encourage me, it doesn't encourage any content creator. But then we're also going to be talking about this in this, yapping session. So guys, I just want to begin by saying, look, it's amazing how many things, obstacles entrepreneurs need to pass through just to make this internet money. Guys, I'm not kidding you here, man. There are so many things that we entrepreneurs go through. Sometimes there are things that just come up unplanned for. And if you are not careful, if you are not that kind of seasoned entrepreneur that have said, goodbye, I do not care what comes my way, I am going to push through. If you are not careful, some of those events have a way, of just knocking you off, shaking you, and making it even impossible for you to do the things that you have said you will be focused doing. I'm just taking a look. Man, the last 1 week has been a lot, like different things coming from right, left, and center. Sometimes that's to do with the eBay platform, not just, generating the number of sales that it should normally generate. Also, sometimes you do not get products to buy. You look at the eBay, sold listings, you see that your competitors are selling, they are killing it, and you go out there to try to look for things to buy, and for one reason or the other, you cannot seem to lay your hands on anything. And if you depend on eBay for your livelihood, that can be a lot of stress, because if you need to pay your rent, you need to put gas on your car, you need to pay your car notes, you need to pay your health insurance and stuff like that. You guys pretty much can relate to the number of, expenses that goes with running your own business. If you are employed, you have a regular 9-to-5 job, a major expense that you normally have, which is your health insurance, has been taken over. You do not really see this debit coming to your account. But if you are a self-employed person, you have to constantly worry about that. When eBay sales are going through, you do not have to worry about it. But any month where, let's say on the 15th of the month, things have not really sold the way you expect, man, if you are not strong in this game, there is the tendency for you to want to panic, because you do not know when the next month is going to come from. And sometimes a particular month could be very, very, challenging. You have debits coming to your account. You've got people sending you invoices right, left, and center. And the sales are not actually going through to enable you, pay those invoices. And sometimes it could even happen in a month where You just went out, you saw some very good deal, you went ahead, you bought it, put it on the platform, and for one reason or the other, things don't sell. These are some of the little things, and this is just me talking about eBay sales and stuff like that. But there are so many other things. You could be going out, your car suddenly develops a problem. You could even go to your warehouse, a PC that you have bought, you listed it on eBay, you tested everything was working, you've sold it. Now the PC is marked to be shipped out, and then you put it on, and for one reason or the other, this PC begins to give a lot of problems. Man, these are some of the things that we pass through. But it's not the end of the road, and it doesn't always happen all the time. But sometimes some months tends to just be, more difficult than the others. Some weeks tends to just be very light, and some other weeks just tend to be, full of some challenges. I have a situation right now. There's a PC that has been sold. It's a Lenovo ThinkCentre PC. Normally, I have to ship out this PC tomorrow. It's been marked to be shipped out tomorrow because on Wednesday, I'm actually traveling with my family on holiday. I totally forgot that tomorrow being Monday is a public holiday here in Germany. So and now this PC has to be shipped out. And for one reason or the other, I need a part for this PC. There's a part that I definitely need to get. It's something that the buyer actually wanted. I thought I had this in the warehouse, and for one reason or the other, I cannot seem to find this part. It's a wireless LAN card. Normally, it's something I normally buy in bulk because when I create my offers on eBay, I always give buyers the option to, buy the PC with a wireless LAN card. But I don't know, for quite some time now, people have not been buying these PCs with the option of a wireless LAN card. And in the last week, we sold more laptops. So there was just no reason for me to constantly check the stock that this wireless LAN card is not available. And right now, I do not have it. I checked online. There is just no way for this wireless LAN card to be delivered on Tuesday. And the shops are closed tomorrow, which is Monday, being a public holiday. So what I have to do now on Tuesday, I have to quickly go to, look for where I can actually get this wireless LAN card. And from where I live, I kind of live off the city. So that means that I might have to drive like 30 kilometers one way for me to be able to get a shop, and hoping that this shop is going to have this wireless LAN card, and then drive back, which is another 30 kilometers, making 60 kilometers just because this wireless LAN card, I didn't have it in the shop. And I'm just sitting here a little bit upset. I have to go, there's just no way for me to wait for Wednesday before sending out this PC. The customer had bought this PC on Friday. Saturday, I'm not expected to ship out anything. Today being Sunday, tomorrow public holiday. Then Tuesday, I already have 60 kilometers, waiting for me, which I have to do before finally shipping out the PC. And on Wednesday, I have to go, for a 3-4 days holiday. I'm just sitting here, I'm just wondering, this is a lot, really, really. Honestly speaking, business is for those that have gotten this thing, within you. This is not something you just wake up and, you watch a bunch of YouTube videos and just tell yourself, I think I want to be in business. Guys, let me tell you, there are so many things that might just upset you. I give you another example. See, there was a Lenovo ThinkCentre PC that was also sold last week. This buyer actually did buy this PC with a Core i5 processor, a Core i5-7500T processor. This was a PC that I thought I had. I bought like 5 or 6 PCs from a particular supplier. And then when I was trying to send out this PC, I realized that this PC itself was a Core i7 processor. I also did make a video here on YouTube. I was just showing you guys in the video that this is a Core i7 PC. But when I looked again, what the buyer actually did buy was a Core i5 PC, and I also created an offer for a Core i5 PC. But then I said to myself, I'm going to go ahead and send out this Core i7, the 7th gen processor PC to the buyer, hoping that this buyer is going to be, excited or surprised or even grateful that, hey, I bought a Core i5 PC, you sent me a Core i7 PC. That should normally be, a reason for any buyer to be happy. All right, guys, do you know that this PC got delivered yesterday, being Saturday? And today, Sunday, I received an email. This buyer wants to return the PC. He's telling me that I sent the wrong PC, that on this PC is a Core i7, 7700T processor, and that what he bought was a Core i5 processor. As if that's not enough, that I didn't actually include a 1 terabyte SSD, but on the SSD, was a 256 gigabytes of SSD, which I said to myself, this is not possible because this is a PC I prepared myself for shipment. And there was just no reason why I would have made such a mistake, which is a buyer bought a PC with 1 terabyte, then I will ship out a PC with 256 gigabytes of SSD. These were mistakes I made long time ago, like years ago. Right now, I tend to check and recheck. And when I am packing my PCs, if you've seen my videos, I typically tend to look at the invoice one more time before putting it in the box, just to eliminate every possibility of making a mistake with the size of the RAM or size of the SSD. But then I needed to write another email to the buyer that, look, please, this is the better PC that I have sent to you. If you want to return it, it's not a problem. But know that the PC that you have is actually much better than what you ordered, and it was done deliberately. It wasn't an error from my part. I really thought I was going to just make you happy by sending you a better PC in excellent condition. But then, because the buyer doesn't know these things, doesn't know what is a powerful PC or what is not, wanted to return it just because of that. Luckily, he was able to tell me that, oh, thank you so much. I'm kind of happy. Sorry, I didn't really take a look at the SSD capacity on the PC. I just thought that it was a mistake because on the invoice, the heading on the description on the invoice actually is the same description that is on eBay. But if you look down in the description section of the invoice, you will see what the person actually did order. So the buyer erroneously was just checking the title or whatever you call it, the description of the invoice, and already was wanting to return the PC. I was just taking a look and I was like, what? What? This was a close one, but luckily that was saved because also I had to quickly, reply to the buyer. Otherwise, if I wouldn't send a reply on time, this buyer would have gone onto eBay, initiate a return, and the PC would be on its way back to me. These are some of the things that we see. But then it's not the end of the road. When it happens like this, it is just a reminder that, look, business is not for the weak. It's for those that have said, come what may, I am going to succeed in this endeavor I'm doing. Come what may, no matter how difficult the challenges are, I will be falling down, but I am definitely going to pick myself up and keep pushing through, because there's just no going back. The boats, whatever you want to call it, the bridges, everything has been burnt. Yes, if you are this kind of business person that still have something to fall back to, you are telling yourself, or if it doesn't work, I'm going to go back there, because sometimes you still have this boat or these bridges behind you, and it has a way of just making you not really go all in or not being determined about your being successful. It doesn't matter if it's on YouTube, which I'm going to be talking about briefly, or on eBay, or on any other endeavor that you have decided to undertake. All right, we have already burnt the bridges. The boats, everything has been burnt, and there's no going back. And sometimes when things like this are happening, it's just a time for us to remind ourselves that, yes, this is what we signed up for. And no matter how difficult it might be, we are going to be pushing on. There are going to be times where we do not feel like doing it anymore. We feel like just giving up altogether because a lot of shit show going on. But when things like this happen, this is the best time for you to actually remind yourself, guys, this is what I have signed up for. I'm going to keep doing it. And hopefully things are just going to, ease off. All right. If you've been in this game long enough, you kind of already understand that it's just a phase. There are phases where things are like, turning upside down. There are other phases, other times where things are just kind of normalized. You pretty much have everything on autopilot. You have everything under control. These are just the phases, and it's a character of a business. Perhaps there's somebody out there right now passing through a lot of, shit show. You are trying to reach out to suppliers to get items to buy. You don't seem to be successful. You are trying to see how you can crack the code of actually being successful online. You are actually doing your best, going out to source for items. You are bringing the items in. You are doing your best to clean them. You are doing your best to make sure that you make good photos. You are posting them, and things are not just selling for one reason or the other. I want to tell you, hang in there. Of course, not to hang in there and continue to, do the same thing that is not working. Hang in there. See how you can upgrade yourself, develop yourself, refine your processes. Change the input that you are using right now that is not working, because if things are not working, one thing you want to quickly take a look at is, how am I doing this thing? Is it that my sourcing is kind of defective or faulty? Faulty is a better word, not defective. Is it that my sourcing is kind of faulty Are you still sourcing item, using a method that worked like 4, 5 years ago? We're in 2025 now, guys. Things have pretty much changed. The market pretty much determines what sell or what not. There used to be a time where people just buy things because they were emotional about the item. You post a nice t-shirt. This is just for example purposes. Somebody sees it and says, oh, I think I need a yellow t-shirt, and goes ahead and buy it. People are passing through difficult situations. People are losing jobs. There's the AI threat. I heard recently that, look, I live in Germany, and some of the big companies are actually letting go of some of their contract workers. BMW, Volkswagen, Audi, some of the big names that used to be the biggest employers of labor in the time past are actually also feeling the heat of the current situation in the world. Companies are downsizing. AI is constantly posing threats to take jobs. People are not so sure how it's going to be in the next 6-7 months up to 1 year. So because of that, people are pretty much careful how they spend money. And because of that, you as a reseller also have to be careful the kind of items that you buy. All right. If you used to go out and just splash your money, you go to the thrift store, it doesn't matter, you see something because the item is being offered to you for cheap, you feel like you want to just go ahead and buy it, you might be surprised that the game is no longer how it used to be. You bring that item, you list it, and people are very skeptical. They do not want to buy it because they do not have a lot of money to just throw around. But if you have said to yourself, things have become the way they are. One thing I want to focus on items that people need to survive. I want to focus on supplies, things that people really cannot do without. This might be, a kind of shift that you have to be able to come back gradually into business, because gonna days people just go buying all manner of stuff. Now, I'm going to give you another example. People tend to want to make videos now with their phone, because now people have just realized that it doesn't matter the kind of camera that you have. Gone are the days where you're coming out of becoming a YouTuber, for example, and then you want to start out with buying a camera, buying a tripod, all this kind of expensive stuff. People are just saying, look, I want to make video with my phone, because at the end of the day, it doesn't determine how my videos get pushed. When I started YouTube, I also make this kind of mistake. I splashed about 700 euros on a Sony camera. And now, 2 years later, I kind of realized that if I knew, or if I know what I know today, I would have just been okay doing these videos with my phone. And people are beginning to realize this. Because of that, if you are a reseller and you are thinking of, going to buy more cameras, keep buying cameras with the hope that you're going to be able to sell them to people that are aspiring to start to create content, you might be wrong, because right now, pretty much everyone has a decent phone, and the cameras on these phones these days, they are becoming very, they are already very, very good, So a more strategic way of thinking would be, what kind of accessories for phones can I actually lay my hands to buy? Can I get chargers? Can I get, tripod for phones? Can I get, handheld devices, handheld mount for phones? Phone screen protectors or stuff like that. These are the kind of things that people might tend to want to buy more. Yes, it might entail that you begin to, think in a different way, begin to, check how you can actually get this stuff. But this is the way, to go in 2025. Yes, do not think that you are the only one feeling the heat. Your category is not selling. Because of that, you feel like giving up. This thing is all over. It cuts across whatever category. It doesn't matter if you're selling, computers, you're selling household utensils, clothing. People are feeling the heat. It's just a phase. This is not something, that you see now and say it's going to remain like this forever. Last year was the same. 3 years ago during the pandemic, it was the same. There's always this time where things are kind of shrinking. Things are a little bit just, uptight, but gradually things are going to ease out and things are going to move back to normal again. Another way you might also be thinking now is that, how am I sourcing? Are you still, wasting your hard-earned money, driving all around, to uncertain places? Uncertain places in this case will mean you are not so sure if you're going to find items there, but you just want to drive 10 kilometers, to get there, only to be told that there's just nothing interesting to buy. This is waste. This is waste of resources, because when you drive 10 kilometers one way and you drive back, that's 20 kilometers. You've not bought anything. you are already in the negative. You know, you've spent money buying gas on your car. This money needs to be accounted for, all right? But if you can be more strategic, perhaps get an insider information. If you have to get a contact from somebody in that company where you normally buy things, call the person ahead of time. Do you guys have this kind of items? And when they say yes, you can actually start to drive. Or better still, look for ways you can actually get these things online. Look for suppliers online, because some of the big suppliers right now, a lot of them do have websites where you can actually go ahead, you know, order stuff directly and the items get delivered to you. And if you go on to some of the classified ad sections, you go onto Facebook Marketplace, you can actually first of all take a look, see how you can map the items in the area you plan to drive to, so that when you go to a particular location, you do not have something to pick up or something to buy. You equally can get something around that neighborhood, so that you do not just come back home, you know, empty-handed. There are so many things that you can actually do in this time, you know, to just make sure that you cut your expenses, because expenses, you know, like unreasonable expenses might just be the bane. In fact, not might, it's the bane of every business. If you want to succeed, one thing you have to be taking a closer look at is to make sure that your expenses are checked as much as you can. Yeah, talking about YouTube today, I did something I didn't do for a very, very long time. I went back into my YouTube studio. I, you know, made public about 100 YouTube shorts. Because when I started this channel, I noticed that the YouTube short thing was just not, there was just no direct benefits to me, because my time is very, very precious. You know, if I had to make a short video, first thing I want to think of, how is this short video going to benefit me? You know, first thing first, YouTube, if you are not creating YouTube videos, even as a reseller right now, you are doing something wrong. See, I am online whole day. I see what's working. Reselling works. You still can make a lot of money reselling. Another thing that works is to be a content creator. So if you really want to get this internet money and you're not making YouTube, you are really doing yourself, you know, a great disservice. You are leaving money on the table, and the data you generate from your reselling business, you are just leaving it to waste, because those data, you can actually put it in the form of a video, post it online, and if you meet the requirements that YouTube have set out, you will actually be monetized and you will make money doing it. It doesn't take you, you know, of course, it's going to take you a little bit extra effort, but when you take a look at it, there is a direct guarantee on the videos that you post on YouTube. This is presupposing that you are monetized. So that being said, if you are not doing YouTube, please consider it. So when I started this channel, I did start with posting YouTube short, but later on, I felt like it wasn't really, you know, there wasn't a direct return on my time, on my investment. You know, I was just feeling like, okay, the money is in the long form video. So I went all in, making long form videos. And at some point, I felt like YouTube shorts were kind of, you know, killing the reach of my long form videos, because this I also had, I kind of read from Reddit, not like I had any evidence to prove this. So I did go to my YouTube studio a long time ago, made all my videos private, and I was posting long form content. I've been posting, it's almost a year now, I keep posting. But then the YouTube algorithm has to do its thing. There's just no way you can circumvent the algorithm's behavior. You know, I was thinking, if I make all the videos private, perhaps the YouTube algorithm is going to see that I'm a long form content creator and give me more traffic, but apparently that wasn't the case. And I felt like today, go to the way, as I said, instead of just leaving this video private, whatever, they could get 1 view here, it could get 10 views here. These short videos could actually, you know, talk to somebody, because yes, some of these short videos do have some value packed in them. Even some of these videos have me directly showing you items that you can actually go ahead and buy and sell them for profit. There are a lot of short videos, you know, showing you how to pack items. But then I said to myself today, I'm going to make all these videos, you know, public again. So I did go to my YouTube studio, selected all the videos. Luckily, YouTube has this bulk editing feature. Otherwise, I would have had to go to all the videos one after the other to, you know, make them public. I went ahead, made sure they are all public. So right now, don't be surprised if you keep seeing my short videos. And in the time where these videos were set to, you know, to private, there was not this feature where you could actually link a long form video in a short video. So right now, this feature is there. It's also something, I mean, I don't know. I heard a lot of people saying that this bridge is really not there, where you see your short form video and they want to go over to your long form and see what you are doing. But I feel like if 100 people were to see my short video, perhaps there'll be 1 or 2 that might be interested in the long form versions of the things I do. So this new week, I'm going to be prioritizing short form content as well. The channel is still not getting the traction I would have loved it to, to get. And I'm making a humble plea that if you kind of rock with PC flipping or flipping items on eBay, please do me a favor, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you find the videos very, very interesting, do not forget to click on the like button, and above all, turn on your notification bell so that you are actually informed when I upload a new video on YouTube. All right, guys, beautiful news. It's not just all gloom. There have been items that have sold, decent pieces have been sold. A Fujitsu Esprimo, this Fujitsu Esprimo that once suffered a return has actually been sold again on eBay. And this time around, I'm just going there to take a look and see what, where this PC is actually going and for how much it has sold. Just give me a minute. All right, I see the PC sold for 519 euros, but then total including shipping sold for 548 euros. Definitely, I'm going to be talking about that. These are content I make during the week, like I said previously. And then another PC also sold, the Lenovo ThinkCentre M700, sold for 249 euros. This month, like I said, has been one beautiful month. Today is just the 8th of the month. It's too early to, to say anything, but if the details or the data I already have is anything to go by, this might just be a month that will be much, much better than last month. We are already, well over 10 pieces, and it's just the 8th of the month. So if everything goes on like this, I am definitely going to be able to do even more. Mind you, I have not been posting as I should. I keep talking about it. I keep, motivating myself to try to come to, this reality of just posting items again on eBay. I'm kind of spoiled because I tend to sell the same pieces over and over and again. Because of that, I don't list items all the time. Some of the listings I have here, they are well over 3-4 years old. They are just there. They have been created. I just constantly go there sometimes to tweak things. But right now, knowing what I know, that look, the algorithm, even though I am already kind of approved, so to say, in the PC, desktop PC category on eBay, there's still a place for you to tell the algorithm, hey, I'm here, I'm putting in the work, I'm doing what I have to do, I'm listening every day, for the algorithm to just find you relevant. When you are kind of silent, only waiting for the algorithm to do its thing, which is bring you sales, I wouldn't know. I kind of feel like if you, keep being busy, like listing new items, deleting items, it has a way of, triggering the algorithm to just kind of bring all your items up in the search ranking. So I keep talking about it. I want to do it, not because I'm lazy, but because of the challenge that a lot of us do face, which is the time challenge. There's just so many hours in a day. You have to make YouTube videos. You have to edit the videos, even though right now, editing, I'm pretty much taking it out of the window because the more I try to edit these videos, the more time is spent, just doing this editing. Yes, if the channel begins to gain the traction that I feel will be worth my time, I can go back again to begin to edit these videos. But if the kind of views I am still getting now, stays like this, I don't expect that it stays. I feel like the algorithm is going to finally push this content out because, truth be said, the content I am making, there is pretty much nobody making this same kind of content. I'm showing you the behind the scene of what I do in my business, how I sell these items, how I ship out these items, telling you the items that pretty much can sell right now if you go ahead to find it, and sometimes even telling you how you can actually look for these items. This is the kind of content I make, and I do not think a lot of people are making this kind of content. Yes, when you go to other categories like clothing, books, you can find people doing the same. But talking about electronics, and if you break down, electronics could be very, very wide. Break down electronics again to computers, laptops, monitors, I think I am one of the few people doing this on YouTube. All right, that being said, the month is starting very beautifully. Hopefully everything stays like this or even better. I'm telling myself again, I'm going to be listing as soon as I come back from my holiday, which is next week. So tomorrow, it's really more chill. There's nothing I can really do. But on Tuesday, I'm going to make sure that these pieces that I have sold, and possibly the pieces that will sell today, tomorrow are going to be shipped out. So it might be a very, very intensive day for me on Tuesday. And I have a laptop here that I really want to list. It's a Lenovo ThinkCentre. I just want to take a look at it and see. Lenovo ThinkCentre S1 Carbon. This laptop, I really need to list it. I have my normal Lenovo ThinkCentre T480 right here, but this one, I feel like this is one decent laptop I should actually go ahead and sell. I've had it, I never ever use it, but this is one laptop that I can tell you guys is a laptop that sells because it's a ThinkCentre, it's an S1 Carbon, and it's got the processor that everyone seems to be looking for. So guys, this might be where I'm going to be wrapping up this Yap session. Like I said, if you are interested in watching, the concise videos where I kind of talk about the things I've sold, show you the behind the scenes of how I run my business, feel free to go onto my channel, be subscribed to the channel, and until I see you again in the next one, peace.